Okay, so how many of you are dancers here, or maybe I can, we all do this say dancing, right? During our Ganesh Chaturthi and all that. I just want to see how many of you move in a day-to-day life. I can't see anybody in the slide though. Okay, great. Okay, so today I'll be sharing a little about not a like Mimikry Srinivas Garu had told, right? If a senior person was telling that he's not such a great person but wanted to share here, I am still a tiny person in this art field, but there are some learning experiences that I would like to share with everybody. So right here, what do you see about these? What do you feel about these numbers? Anyone? Anybody? Steps? Any other answers? Okay, let me ask you straight. Being a classical dancer, would any of you think that, someday we'll be able to see these numbers? Just being a classical dancer. I am also an engineer. I also come from all of you. And, I had zero confidence that I would make a career in dance. And before even going to engineering, I was obviously dancing since my childhood. Both of my parents are artists. So that is how the whole interest in this art field comes into place. And I started also, being an artist, I think being independent, thinking independent starts from a very early age. That is one blessing being an artist. And I also wanted to contribute a little to the family. We come from a middle class background back then. And even, with that independent thinking, I also wanted to contribute back then. And while I was doing my engineering, I also started my own academy. I was 18 when I started my academy. And I started contributing a very, very little, but I really felt, very good about it. I could at least, clear my, I could contribute the home expenses back then, the home rent expenses back then. But, it gives you that, the sense of liberty, the sense of, being so proud about what you're doing. But I always wanted to take up dance as a career, but I was very, very, low on confidence. And I took up civil engineering because I, as a person, cannot be confined to a desk job. I'm always somebody who likes running around. Let it be sun, rain, I really like running around, go there and just work. I was also one of your volunteers in my college days. So that is how I was always. So I picked up civil engineering. I did my bachelor's. I did my master's also in civil engineering. I picked up a job in Hyderabad Metro as a site engineer. And, life doesn't go by plan. And we have a very fixed plan, right? You do engineering, you do a job, and then, you settle. That is it, the monthly salary. But life pushes you so hard, you will not even understand back then. For me, while I was working in my Hyderabad Metro, I got these very huge profile events. Every third day I had to go to my contractor for a half-day leave. And that put me in a very uncomfortable position. I didn't want to give that. I went back to my parents. I told, because it has been, those shows were like something that I've always dreamt of being a child. So I happened to go to my parents. I told them I want to resign and try up dancing completely because I don't know if that is what I want to do because I never had a clarity in life. And my parents being artists, I think they understood me more than anybody else. And they just told me, do whatever you want. And that is where it all started. And I did everything but dancing. I took up school choreographies. I used to do wedding choreographies. I did home tuitions. I did whatnot, but everything related to dance. When I initially started my academy, I just had one student back then for 6 months, the starting 6 months. By 1 year, there were about 16 people. And today I have an academy of about 500 plus students with me. And so this is one part of the journey. And I really loved, I did a lot of choreographies, lot of works in dance, and that is where I also built my dance company. And those numbers that you see are the numbers that I in real life see now, and I'm really proud of making those numbers today. Because when you, like how Sir told, just throw yourself in it, life will find out the way somehow for you. So that is how I just did everything. And the confidence has been always after each performance and the appreciation. See, artists are generally, we all do it for the appreciation and all of that. So yes, so then I started my own dance company, and I turned my passion into business. And my dance company is called Sravya Manasa's Dance Ensemble, and I've performed about 1700 shows in India and worldwide till today. And every choreography of mine has, so for me, I do my choreographies based on a lot of themes of today, so that, all of you, the general audience, can relate, rather than going back to the history. I love using my classical dance and doing all that, classical history, but I love to portray and use my dance as a medium to communicate. And turning passion into business is something that I would want to again, reiterate, because there are a lot of industry colleagues of mine who also, say, or rather do backbiting. They say, I take up divine dancing and make it a business. And I mean, what's wrong? That is my bread and butter, that is my career, but I do business with right intentions. So, and that is so needed. I mean, passion is nothing if you can't make a living out of it, right? So you have to sustain yourself, you need money to support your dreams, and that is where I thought I'll also take the money from my passion, I'll also fund it for my passion. It is not like I do two jobs, work for a corporate. I have a lot of friends in corporate who are really amazing dancers, but obviously, that risk they have not taken, but I have taken, and I know that, they're not happy with their jobs. And it is not like, see, you might be very, very interested in your corporate. I am very interested in my dancing, and I really took a good risk by, joining my own passion. And yes, talking about this, I want to be a lot of people, a lot of characters, a lot of stories. I want to portray a lot of emotions that, each one of you somewhere or the other can relate. And, in all this journey of portraying a lot of characters, doing a lot of choreographies, the works in dance, I happen to also be, one such incident. I happen to also be a choreographer for School of Disabled, where I met one of the girls, the little girls, who's also especially disabled, and she was all bald. And I happened to have a conversation with the teacher about her, because all the kids were being specially abled. They were all very hyperactive, super full of joy. And I just found her as, being very upsetting and sad all day. And I asked the teacher, and she told me that, besides being specially able, she was also a cancer survivor. But I was like, but that is a good thing. Why is she upset about it? So her hair is something very special for her, and she misses it. And that, the sensitive side in me wanted to, immediately think, because the plastic wigs are not used by a lot of cancer survivors, and that is not, that does not support their health condition. So I thought I'll donate my hair, but again, thinking about the societal acceptance, I never did. And that was in 2018, and a couple of years down the line, I don't know what striked, maybe the regret of not helping somebody back then, or maybe I just wanted to give up on all those meaningless societal terms. I just wanted to just go do it and didn't care about anything else. And it really felt like freedom back then. I shaved my head. And the moment I shaved my head, the moment I looked myself in the mirror, see, one thing is you can shave your head, but I'm also a classical dancer and my hair is so important for me. So all that was there, but the moment I shaved my head and looked at myself in the mirror, I don't know, a great sense of, freedom, a great sense of liberty, whatnot. I felt like, I really didn't care about anything or anyone else for that matter. I also had my wedding in few months. I didn't even tell my fiance that I was getting a hair this thing. I just did a video call to him. But, my both parents were appreciative about it. Not everybody would tell me a yes, obviously, at the beginning. But for my personal reason, I felt really, really good. I mean, rather than donating, I think the feeling that I carried with myself since that day, because all my choreographies till then had, because I come from a classical dance background, and classical dance by the term means a lot of boundaries. We've got a lot of formatted, lot of boundaries, and every time I did some work, I wanted to do some contemporary work, I always used to keep in mind, the acceptance of the society for it. And, that acceptance had, that the whole thought of, getting that acceptance and, doing it accordingly had stopped me from doing what I truly believed in. But I don't know if this was needed, not for the girl I met back then, but for me, this was so much needed, because since then, I really never cared if the society accepted or not. I just put myself there. I wanted to just go there and show what I've got. So I did a lot of contemporary choreographies, and we were also invited to a lot of different countries to portray the choreographies I did. One such choreography I also presented as an opening act for TEDx Hyderabad. I used poetry, the very powerful tool, the literature, and used poetry and dance together and created one really amazing work that I'm proud of. And that is how my journey has completely transformed after this. And with me, like I told, if there is some small inspiration that my students, they definitely say that they take a lot from me, but there were not just the people that you see in the picture, but there are about 45 people who also donated the hair after me from our academy. So, hair donation is one good thing, is different, but we made sure we also, me personally, and then, maybe I influenced them later. I made sure I never wore a cap or a stole, anything like that. I was very comfortable. I was feeling very, very confident, more than ever before. I never wore anything. And they were like incidents while, in this journey where there was one performance after I got shaved, and, I went to one of my students' performance at High-Tech's Novotel, and I was going to use the loo. So obviously, because I was in my, the shaved head, I was really looking cute, but I can't wear a sari and go. I also wanted to be that tomboy. I wore my dance company's hoodie and the jeans, and I went. And the security guard stops me at the loo saying the men's entry is that way. And I was like, I just smiled at him, but yeah. That is one funny incident to talk about. But the second one, so after a few days, so I live in a place called Moti Nagar, and we get some amazing Irani chai there. So me and my friends went to the shop, and there's a school next to the shop. And the 10th class guys were coming out. It was evening time, and I was just standing there. We were just normally having our chai, and I never cover my head or anything. I was just in my own zone. And they started calling me all the names, they started teasing, they started calling me this, that, what not. And personally, obviously, I gave it for a better reason. All that can be covered up, or all that is, overpowered with the reason that I gave. But still, if I was a real cancer survivor wanting to come out, and, wanting to really just show my strength and be the normal me, but there is society who's going to kill that strength, right? And that second, I had, that changed the whole perception of life for me, in that particular second. So I was, because back then I was wanting a lot of acceptance for this, from the society. And then I decided, with that instance, I think this was a great learning from me, that, okay, I think let us just do what I want to do. And I never looked back since then. And, the whole perspective change. And this is one of my performances that I did. It is classical dance. It's a contemporary work that I did on a poetry by Maya Angelou. I wanted to use dance as a medium to communicate, to also, throw that power that I truly believe in. And this, I received a very, very, very great appreciation after I did this. And the same performance, I think in the same month, at 4 different very powerful events, I was invited to perform. And, when the world accepts, again, it's not just because of their acceptance, but I think the world also accepts whatever you truly believe in. And after this whole perspective, the work has changed, and I think I'm here today, invited for what I truly believed in. And coming to dance, dialogue and drama, dance especially, I'm a Kuchipudi dancer. And my Kuchipudi is actually a dance drama tradition. And so from there, a lot of influence of the drama, the dialogue comes into place. I'm not just a Kuchipudi dancer, and I would also like to be a lot of, into multiple fields of art. I did theatre, I also learned a bit of Kalari, the martial art form, and all of that. And dialogue, when I say, dubbing is one thing that I obviously acquired from my father. He's a very senior actor and a dubbing artist. But, he has been a very big influence. But again, it also comes from my dance. And yes, I have a very powerful voice. You all should agree to that. But, my voice is so powerful that a customer care guy calls me sir on the phone. And I got so used to, I stopped cutting him down, and I used to continue the conversation. But, this voice of mine has given me some amazing roles in the movies as a dubbing artist. I did a lot of negative characters. I don't know if you know some of these. Rakshasudu, I started off with ACP. I did a lot of other dubbings also, but this was a break. And this is one character that people hated, and I take that as a compliment. And then Mauni Roy, and again Angelina and Eternals, everything in Telugu. But the biggest was for my favorite, Samantha, for Family Man. And so Family Man, it was a pan-India movie, as you all know. And she happened to dub herself in all the languages. But Amazon Prime and Samantha, they had a preview of the Telugu, and they were very happy that they wanted to keep my voice. And they were so happy, I think, they also gave me Citadel Honey Bunny, which is releasing next month. And you all are definitely tagging me after watching that. Yes, so this is me, more of a person who really likes making people happy with just her dancing and the dialogue. And yes, I wish to stay alive beyond this life. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you.